Hello, Huntington. Yeah, me again. Make another video. I know most of you guys don't like my videos, but they get around. But I post these other videos to some of YouTube, and we've got some guys that listen to it as well. So I figured I'd include Joe in on this uh, to my to my fellow military buddies. Um, I'll make it as short as I can, but today is really it's a really sad day. I don't know if you guys have heard or realize what the impact of what happened today, but we lost 16. We lost 16 service members today. They were on a C-130 on a training mission. It looks like, and um, their plane crashed and they all passed away. At this time, we don't know how many females and we don't know how many males because, well, the fire took care of that when they hit the ground. They can't really identify them yet. It's going to take a while for some DNA tests. But it's lucky because in the military, you have to take a sample of your DNA because heck, they expect you to die some along the way and they can identify you quickly. I don't know what their mission was, but I'm pretty much bet they were on the training to get deployed in the near future. I've had my brothers thinking about what I was in when I was in it. Probably had 6 months before they shipped out. Then another year before they seen America again. They were training, trying to learn everything they can and help them survive in that far off land. They dedicated their training and they dedicated their life to something they believed in. Something that may not be popular, it may not be something that everybody agrees that we should do. But hell, too often times, you know what? We treat the soldier his fault. We didn't make the war. We didn't decide we were going to go. We just went. They told us where to go. These boys they told they need to train. They got up and they did so. They didn't make it home. My thoughts go back to the families, mom and dad, wives, children that they had, brothers, sisters, basically all the family, no doubt. I mean, this is going to touch them for the rest of their lives. To the dads, I can say that they'll be just proud because the way he went or she went. To the moms, it's just going to be hard because their baby's gone. To the wives that are left with kids that have to carry on without daddy, and they're going to have a talk. Explain why daddy's not coming home tonight. Mama, either. So I hold these individuals the highest light because they died in combat, whether you believe it or not. Whether you die on American soil, you die over there in the big sandbox or little sandbox, at wherever they put you, you're still doing your duty, training for a mission. So is this less than that they died in a training accident? No, because they were died prepared themselves to go. See, for these individuals, when you get your orders, you see you got about maybe 9 months to train up, and you realize that not 9 months you're going to be going overseas. It brings a special urgency to your training. It brings a special giddy up in your walk. It brings out attention to detail because you don't want to miss something. It might save your life when you're downrange. You listen to the people who've been there. You listen to the people who've not. You listen to people that are book smart. You listen to the ones who've been there. So we left this. I'll leave this country to you. They'll live this country and they fight for this country, hoping that you'll see the right thing to do. That you'll carry on a tradition of what our flag stands for and for what our Constitution and whatever state they're from, their Constitution. Because that's what they're fighting for you to have that right. They're fighting for you so you can actually make things right back here. You have that opportunity. They provide that umbrella so you can actually carry on and you can actually promote a democratic society. So maybe one day we ain't got to go to war. Maybe y'all can clean out the stuff that's corrupt and make it better for everybody. They fight so you can do what's right. There's not a time in a soldier's life that he can sit around. There's not a time that he ain't training or prepared to be training or sleeping or eating. And you get very few of that. Sacrifice we make and sacrifice that we go through is just based on one thing. To allow you to do things legal and what you're supposed to do. Some of you, that sounds melodramatic, and some of you think that, well, that's way off the end, but I'm sorry, that's the way a soldier thinks. When the bottom line comes up, that's what he thinks. Soldiers, retired soldiers, and veterans alike, they speak out. And I'll let you know when something's not right. You see, they fought for it. And that gives them a right. To notice things that are not right and produce it in front of you and tell you, look, this is wrong. And we expect that somebody will pick up the mantle and carry on. Soldiers today that live in a fight are in a turmoil when they get back. They're not allowed to speak up, or they're not allowed to speak up or admit that they're a veteran or have that military bearing that got you through some bad times. Also kept your mouth shut through the trouble. So see, these individuals who died today and those that have died before, they're asking you to do the right thing. So your children won't have to go through a war. They're asking you to clean up what you got so you can put your best foot forward for your children and your elderly individuals and yourself. Because you deserve to have a good government. You deserve to have all your rights fulfilled. Some are inalienable. No one can take those rights away, no matter what they may say. I'll give you an analogy. An wise old man once told me that your freedoms are like a rock. I said, rock? He said, no, like a salt block. And he said, you empower those people in the council, in the mayor, and the city manager and those. You give them a hammer when you elect them. You give them this hammer so they can actually stand up and fight for your rights, for what makes the town better, what is good for the town, and have enough authority to make it happen. But what happens one day and you go out on your porch and there's little Nick in that salt block because one of them city council members is just taking off a little bit, taking off a little chunk. Well, you say, well, you know what, that don't matter, you know, that's just a little bit, I can deal with it, whatever, that's no big deal, whatever. Well, the next day you wake up and they took another little chunk. Pretty soon every day they come by and they're taking a chunk, and then one day you wake up and I ain't got no more chunks, I ain't got no more salt. But they took it from you, but you're supposed to get go down and buy you another block. Today's a reminder, ladies and gentlemen, what individuals go through to fight for your freedoms. The rest, hell, it's up to you. Because these veterans are going to come back and they're not going to feel in place. They're going to ask questions that makes them in trouble because you're not supposed to stop. You're not supposed to say that way. There you are. There you ask questions. We've done it this way. We always done it this way. Don't speak up when you see something wrong. Don't speak up when you see somebody breaking the law. Do not actually interrupt the process. Because we all know that the city limits of Huntington does not belong to the United States. It does not belong to the state of Texas. We make our own laws. I just don't remember when they declared independence. I don't know why we don't have a flag. I don't know why we don't have Independence Day that we celebrate here in Huntington down in Centennial Park. See, these men died for you to be able to be a part of something great, which is called America and the great state of Texas. Now, y'all say, you know what, it ain't that serious. Well, yes, sir, yes, ma'am, yes, it is. Because it's based on one premise. And that's the fact is we see it with our military people. We see it with heads of state. We see it all the time about people who are ready to actually fight for every individual and every single right. These rights mean something to these people. And if they didn't, they wouldn't pick up a gun. So the issue is here is what has transformed and what we've begun, why begun. The issue is this, it's not bigger than me. It's bigger than all of us. I mean, can't you see? This way of life we're living here in Huntington is not for what we fight for. Huntington is actually listed as number on roadstacks.org as we're not the most miserable, and we didn't make the top 10. It's because we're sitting at 11. Go figure it out, my friend. And we know what the problem is. Maybe you can take a second and think. If those individuals can train to go downrange and lose their life based on a principle of the United States and the flag and also the Constitution of both the state and the nation, is it too much to ask for you to do your part? Any of them kick in. They did. It cost them their life. Sometimes you got to decide where to get off or get on the fence, and if you disagree with somebody, let them know. I think you're wrong. And have a debate amongst what we've done all along. Don't think that our founding fathers didn't they didn't argue debate. There was always that one thing that was fighting words where, you know, they challenge you to a duel. Take you out, shoot each other. So you knew where that went to cross. I have, and no one that I know of have actually crossed that law of Texas fighting words. No one has. And until you do so, you can, the First Amendment says you're free to express yourself any way you can. Though that First Amendment is not negotiable. You can't go and say fire, that there's a fire in a crowded room and there not be a fire. Of course, there's limitations. But the speaking out against one person or an entity of people who are taking advantage of the people is a First Amendment right. I use these individuals today to go over a point because I have to sit down tonight, and when I get ready to lay down on my head on my bed, I got to make a decision. And that decision is, you know what, I see and I reported on what's going on, and it's got me in trouble, and I'm afraid to go outside my damn house, you know. So, but one of those things gonna be going through my head. When I look at the status of Huntington and I look what's being done and what's being said and the way we run our town, I don't know if I can look one of those individuals passed on in their eye. So you did it for a good cause. Because he compared to Huntington, it's not. Soldiers fight for what they believe in. And right here, the city of Huntington is not worth fighting for. It's not losing your life over. Because the fact is, you know what, nothing's going to change. People are still going to get browbeaten. People are still going to be held accountable for stuff. They're going to be talked behind your back. You're going to be made to run out of town for all it's worth. And I hope to God that those 60 individuals died doing what they knew was right for their community, knowing their community was right and they were proud to go and serve, so it would be the same. We can't say that. We can't say we're proud of an individual who goes, stands up from Huntington, because is it worth it? Is your life worth going to fight for everything that you see that's against the law? And so many ways it's like branches on a tree, you know. So I got to lay down my house, lay my head down tonight, and I got to think about it. I'm like, was it worth it? Everything you've been through as a soldier, everything you've been through, every training mission, everything, no matter how bad it gets, no sleep, no food, no rest for the weary. Your feet so tore up that all you do is put moleskin on them, keep them going, because you can't take one more step, but you put moleskin, you can take a few more. That, ladies and gentlemen, is fight. That, ladies and gentlemen, is going the extra mile. These 16 individuals in one way or shape, form, fashion, they did it for you. And the only thing they expected from you or expect from you is to stand up for your rights that they fight for. Stand up and say, no, this is not right. Stand up and say, you know what? One day you can say, you know, son, maybe it wasn't worth it when you went, but right now, son, it's worth it. All that you've spent. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm just going to make this short and sweet. It's just based on the last things I've seen in the means to go and hide uh, illegal activity and the just the strength that they use on energy to try to put out spot fires here and there. Well, maybe they should just come clean and say, you know, I did this. You know, man up. I'd like to hope this evening, you know, ladies and gentlemen, that I caused you to pause and think for just a little bit about those individuals at age 16 that went down over Mississippi. No one survived. I can't tell who's who yet, and they can't tell what. They can't even tell if they're male, female. They can't tell nothing. We used to bag people up when I was downrange, and if they had a member missing, a hand, an arm, or whatever, we would put them in a bag and write members missing. These ladies and gentlemen didn't even get that. They paid a price for you to do the right thing. I hope this message gets to people, and I hope they'll understand that this is not a grandstand part about our military. It's not what it was intended for. It's just the fact is that I want to get the message across to the people of Huntington that even though you're not standing up and having your say so, or you're not actually researching and finding out these events, or turning your head, or just don't want to believe it, or whatever, that makes sense to you. I mean, but just keep one thing in the back of your head. There are people out there fighting, so you can do what you're supposed to do as a citizen. That's all we ask of you. We're willing to deal bombs, bullets, and band-aids. Somebody shooting at you, trying to blow you, we deal with all that just so we can fight for freedom. I'd hate to think that civilians can't even stand up. I believe their life is more than that. I believe that we owe them more than that. For every individual who's died in Iraq and Afghanistan, to every individual who's died across this land, every individual who has fought and fought hard for one reason, and he fought for you. And they come back and realize you won't even fight for yourself. I gotta cut a veteran in half. So I don't know where this is all gonna lead. I don't have a clue. But I know one thing. I stood up and fought for what I believe was right. And I'll do it again and again. That's how I was taught. So, ladies and gentlemen, I hope that you will take the time to pause on this video. This has not been a video downgrading in any way. It's just actually telling you what I think. Today I'm on our families, kids, moms and dads, girlfriends, wives, for everybody that meant something to this individual who died today. And I'd like to think that maybe in towns like Huntington would actually do their part. Because if that type of person can make that sacrifice, I think maybe this is just a little bit to ask. Stand up and do what's right. Thank you guys. I appreciate the feedback. Once again, it's Huntington Proof and Facts on my Facebook. And you can reach me at stecwby33@gmail.com. I ain't scared of you. Also, I have a Gab, y'all ever use the app. And then also, you can make comments on my YouTube. Um, Good and bad, you know. So, you guys have a great afternoon. Looks like it's going to rain. Well, it rained, man. Looks like it's going to hurt. Looks like we're in the middle of a hurricane or a tornado. I don't know. Well, I don't call them tornadoes, okay? I call them nader. I ain't no dead Yankee, man. They're nader. I don't care what you say, they're nader. That's what I said when I was little. I said, Daddy, there's a nader. He goes, yep, sure enough. No, I figured that's the way you say it. You guys have a good afternoon. Maybe you can pause for thought. Maybe it'll get you to do a little research and form your own frame of thought instead of what listen to everybody else says. Come up with your own decision and say, you know what, he might be right on what he said. So if you do that, I guarantee you, you know what, you're gonna have more questions than I do. You're with your research, my research, hell, who knows where this is going to go? I don't know. But remember the 16 today. Say a prayer. Some of them are Marines that were on that flight. I know. There were no Marines from Cherry Point. This I know, in case anybody wonders about somebody. See, as Marines, when we go and we all pray, go to heaven. Marines, we really don't go to heaven. No matter how we live our life, no matter how true, how much we're religious, we don't go to heaven. Because, ladies and gentlemen, Marines, we guard the gates of heaven. Have a good day, guys. Y'all be good. Keep your powder dry. I gotta get out of here now. I don't know how to get out of here. How do I do that? I don't know what I'm doing.